Let's talk about why chiropractors suck. At least sometimes. Hey, I'm Dr. Anthony Davis, and yes, I am a chiropractor, but we're gonna talk about why chiropractors suck and how you can find one that doesn't. Sometimes chiropractors get a really bad reputation, and frankly, I think that that's for a good reason. In fact, I think it's for 5 good reasons at least, and I'll name those in this video. But do stick around to the end of the video. I'll give you 3 reasons why chiropractors can be a really valuable part of your healthcare team, if you find the right one. The first reason that I think that chiropractors suck sometimes is because of what I would call the old guard. Essentially, we have a lot of old guys in charge of a lot of powerful, authoritative positions within the profession that, in my opinion, are holding the profession back from being a forward-thinking, evidence-based profession. Now, sometimes people who criticize chiropractic as a profession will point out that the origins of the profession back in 1895 were started by a guy who had some kind of wacky ideas about how the human body worked. Now, every profession that started a long time ago had some outdated ideas about how things in the world worked, right? We learn new things each decade, every single year, really, we learn new things, and we should constantly be evolving our ideas and especially when it comes to healthcare, our treatments and what things we do and do not do. Unfortunately, though, there's kind of a gang of really enthusiastic, like OG chiropractors that are all about the original spirit, man, of the profession, and they just won't let it go. And so they're just clinging on to these old, outdated ideas, and it kind of holds the profession back. And that's where we get a lot of the bad reputation as a profession as being pseudoscientific, because those people would claim that they're manipulating some vital life force in your body with their magic hands. And frankly, we just don't have evidence for that type of thing. But we do have a lot of good evidence for the way that many chiropractors will practice today. I'll get to that later in this video. So that first reason is really about some people, a small portion of the profession just really clings to these outdated ideas. And unfortunately, those people are really loud. And that's where a lot of this public image of what a chiropractor is or is not comes from. And I think they give us a bad name. So reason number 2, why I think that sometimes chiropractors suck is because whether you believe in this, outdated idea or more recent but still outdated ideas, a lot of times your chiropractor will give you a false narrative, a false story about what is going on in your body and what they are doing to try to, quote, fix you. So even the idea that they have magic hands and can, quote, fix you, that's a false narrative. So many chiropractors will give you this idea that your body is out of alignment, that your bones are out of place, and that they can find them and then put them back in place, and that somehow that's going to resolve your pain or your other symptoms. Now, the best scientific literature that we have available on this topic shows that bones do not go out of place unless you were obviously in some kind of major traumatic accident, in which case you should be in the emergency room, and that chiropractors cannot accurately find them if they are out of place anyway. And even if they could, they can't put them back with their hands. So we have tons of literature showing that that's an outdated narrative and that we need to be educating patients on current best practice and current best ideas of what we are or are not doing. Mostly, I don't like that narrative because it sounds scary. It sounds like your whole body is just ready to fall apart. And if you sneeze wrong, your bones are gonna go out of place. And that's just not how the human body works. You are way stronger and way more resilient than that. Your bones don't just go out of place because you sneezed wrong. Reason number 3. Okay, this one's kind of weird and nitpicky, but we call the profession chiropractic. Not chiropractic, not some kind of chiropractology, right? Chiropractic. It just grammatically doesn't make sense, and that's kind of bugged me since I was a student. It doesn't make sense, and the grammar Nazi in me just hates that. So it's kind of a silly point, but it does bug me. Reason number 4. A lot of times people will go to a chiropractor, they will take a lot of x-rays of their spine, and then they will tell them that they need to come in for 30 or 40 different visits over a long period of time, and that they need to shell out a whole lot of money up front, and then they'll save on this package of visits, right? And that is bullshit. You do not need long-term care plans. There's no evidence to support that. There's no evidence that you need chiropractic care for maintenance of your body or to keep things in alignment. That is absolutely not true. This is just a way for chiropractors to make a lot more money on you because you don't know any better. And that sucks. To me, that's totally unethical. So that part of the profession, chiropractors who do that, that really frustrates me. And if you've ever been to a chiropractor like that, I'm really sorry that you had that experience. You do not need long-term care. If anybody ever tries to tell you you need to come in for 40 visits after taking a ton of x-rays and showing you the x-rays and saying, oh, it's scary, it's out of alignment, it's, your curvature is a little bit more than normal, run away. I'll tell you, for myself in clinic, I very frequently have patients come in, they've got a little neck pain, even if they tweak something at the gym, stuff like that. And I do an examination, and after exam and a little bit of treatment, they're like, so when should I come back? And I tell people this all the time. I say, honestly, I think you're really healthy. I think you're gonna bounce back really quickly. If you like getting treatment because it helps you feel better while you stay active, then awesome. But you don't have to come back because I think you're just gonna get better on your own. So if your chiropractor tells you something different, like you need 40 visits, run away. Reason number 5. Okay, so this is a bit more of a history lesson, but a lot of chiropractors believe that they have this philosophy. They would call themselves a philosophy-based chiropractor, right? Versus an evidence-based chiropractor, right? I would consider myself an evidence-based chiropractor. Now, the philosophy-based chiropractors believe that you have this universal energy, kind of, this vital life force that is impeded if your spine is out of alignment, and that therefore everything else in your body essentially doesn't work right if your spine isn't in alignment, because it impedes the flow of vital life force. Okay, I think this sounds silly personally, but if you believe in energy and stuff like that, this isn't a knock on that. It's just saying we can't prove or disprove that type of thing. So as a healthcare profession, I don't think we should be making those claims. I think that belongs more in the realm of I don't know, I guess religion or spirituality. I don't think that's my business as a doctor. I think my business is to make sure you don't have diseases and that you can prevent diseases and that you can take care of your health using exercise, nutrition, good sleep, good people, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so one of the things that these philosophy-based chiropractors like to say all the time is that the power that made the body heals the body. Now, I actually believe that statement for the most part. In many cases, not all cases, but many cases. But I think they contradict themselves all the time with that statement, because they believe that the power that made the body heals the body, and yet they rope you into long-term treatment plans that require them, with their hands, to touch your spine and put things back into alignment to release that vital life force. But if the power that made the body heals the body, why do you need them to heal your body for you? That doesn't make any sense. That's a huge contradiction and a big red flag in my opinion. So I actually kind of like that statement as a general preventative medicine type of statement, that the power that made the body heals the body. Often, sometimes, not in all cases, but I do think it does. And if that's the case, if the power that made my body can heal my body, if I'm injured, if I tear a muscle, for example, how does my muscle heal? Yeah, it's from within, it's based on my biology. It makes sense, right? But so how do I heal that? I eat good food, I get plenty of rest, I get plenty of good movement, I strengthen the tissue, right? I get those cellular mechanisms to remodel the tissue and heal it, right? I get good blood flow to the area with exercise, that type of stuff. And it will heal itself, that is true. So in that case, if I pull a muscle, yeah, the power that made my body, in that sense, can heal my body. But I don't need somebody to crack my back to do that. I just need good sleep, good food, and good movement to strengthen and remodel and heal that tissue. So that seems like a huge contradiction and a big red flag in my opinion. I could go on all day about things that bug me about some chiropractors, but here are 3 reasons why sometimes I think that a chiropractor, I am a chiropractor, so I'm a little biased here, can be a great addition to your healthcare team. Let's check them out. Number 1, I think the most important reason to go see a doctor of any kind, whether it's a doctor of chiropractic, a doctor of physical therapy, a medical doctor, an osteopathic doctor, whatever, is if you have some kind of pain or negative symptoms that are going on, especially if they're lingering for a while, you need to make sure that you don't have some major pathology going on or something, or even if it's not major, there are some injuries, for example, that are worse than others. Some injuries, not a big deal, walk it off, you're gonna be fine. Whereas other injuries, you need to take a really specific set of steps in order to make sure that you heal it properly, like for example, an ACL tear. So the first reason that you need to see a doctor of any kind is just to make sure you know what you're actually dealing with so that we can rule out serious stuff that needs to be dealt with very specifically. Again, I tell this to people in the clinic all the time. They come in, we do an exam, we do a little bit of treatment, and they leave saying, hey, well, I'm really glad that I know it's nothing serious. And I say, yeah, I don't think it's anything serious. I think you're gonna bounce back in no time. So if you wanna come back for a little treatment, that's up to you, but you don't need to, you're gonna be fine. So really reason number one is kind of just peace of mind, making sure you know what you're dealing with. Reason number two, manual therapy feels good. So the way that we treat in the clinic that I work at right now is that we use a lot of hands-on soft tissue release. I don't even like that word release, but we do soft tissue therapies, help the muscles calm down and just feel better. And then we do some joint therapies, joint manipulations or cracking your back. That stuff, honestly, it just feels good. And if it feels good and you come in, you're in pain, and then we do something that feels good, then maybe you can go exercise and it won't hurt as bad. So if it feels good and it opens a window of opportunity that you can use to go exercise and stay active and keep living your life while your body naturally heals on its own, then great. So reason number two is that we can create a window of opportunity so you can stay active while you heal. Reason number three, because chiropractors do not have the scope of practice to prescribe painkillers or perform surgery, major surgery in most places, we have a bias to figure it out without those things. So now some chiropractors go off the deep end and they hate all drugs and all surgery in every single case, and that's ridiculous. Sometimes you need those things. But our bias, our hands are tied. We can't give you drugs. We can't do surgery on you. So we have to try to figure it out with exercise, sleep, stress management, good food, nutrition, those types of things. So we have to figure out how you can get better without using drugs or surgery because our scope of practice doesn't let us do that. So our bias is naturally a more conservative option. And a lot of people like that. They want to have a plan that they can execute on their own. They want to be like, well, okay, can I fix this on my own? Can I eat better food? Can I sleep better? How can I get better sleep? How can I have less pain during the day at work? How can I exercise better so that I heal quicker or avoid future injuries, right? That's our bias. We have to figure it out using those tools. So, we're really in your corner for preventative medicine. That's enough for this video. Now, I'm sure I said some things that bothered a couple of people. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to say that the profession as a whole is growing. There are a lot of people that I think are stuck in the past, and that bothers me. And I've met so many patients in our clinic that are really, really fed up with the profession. They go and they see these people and they have a terrible time. They feel embarrassed to even talk about it because they feel like they got swindled. They feel like they got taken advantage of by unethical chiropractors. And that sucks. I hate hearing that. Our profession can do so much better than that. Fortunately, there are a lot of evidence-based chiropractors, and we are trying to move this profession forward, and we are doing so. We're doing so slowly, but it is happening. So this is not chiropractors are bad and chiropractors suck all the time. This is hey, watch out for chiropractors who do these things, because you could be getting so much better healthcare if you had somebody who is really patient-centered, focused on how they can help you take care of yourself. And that's what I do too. And if you want help from me, if you're anywhere in the world, I can work with you one-on-one, and just reach out to me and I can help guide you to help you come up with a plan to take care of your pain and injuries at home. So reach out, go to the website, schedule an appointment with me. If you have questions, comments, leave them in the comments. I will respond to them. If you disagree with me, totally, I get that. Let me know what you think, and let's have a civil conversation about it. Cool, I'll see you in another video.